in final fight territory, and it has to get to the fight as soon as possible. Either you run the Spider-Man or you run someone with the very, very high mobility like the Star-Lord, but that's its own concept theory craft shenanigans. The one theory craft we need to know is how these teams are going to approach the ban draft, but so far, nothing too crazy. Gambit mirror ban, but do we find more emphasis on Elsa? We do, at least for Fury.
Elsa gets the pass through from Fury's side. Keep in mind, Vulcan Red went 2-0 yesterday. They are looking all hunky-dory coming into this. They used their second ban to go for the Mantis and reserve the Invisible Woman. This is a natural lead-through for Fury to ban out Elsa.
Yep, and oh wow, yep, Vulcan Red actually going to stray away from the Elsa Bloodstone. Do Fury want to ban it away?
They will.
Here. Yep. They will ban it away, but that's at the cost of a one-sided Invisible Woman on the side of Vulcan Red.
Ultron as well. Even though there is the reserve onto the Elsa, again, having that Ultron distraction would mean that the Elsa can't focus on the main line or the back line, just racking up ultimate and getting those shots down. And there's damage amp.
Ooh, interesting approach coming in from Fury. Take away the Captain America. Make sure that if Vulcan Red want to either sustain during a fight or look for backline KO potential, Fury then use their save onto the Jeff. The Vanguard Deadpool and the Venom have gone through in the ban draft. That's been a trend lately. A lot of teams have been starting to not take away the Vanguard Deadpool at all in these ban drafts. So Fury, they have a very, very strong combination with Kanya on the Jeff. It means that he has to team up with the Deadpool and the Venom. So he has so much healing potential, and that's going to be the reason why the Jeff can be facilitated in the two strategist backline. You need those team ups in order to match the healing coming out on the other side, whereas Vulcan Red, they're going to run a triple strategist composition. Lick going to be on the White Fox. Chronix is on the Ultron to damage amp Ancient, who is running the Phoenix. Because if you don't have the Elsa Bloodstone available, Phoenix is your next best option.
Yeah, and having triple strats on both sides prioritizes, again, a weaker front line. You want to keep them alive, and so banning out that Captain America against Vulcan Red ensures that at least someone beefy with a lot of speed can't go terrorizing them.
And now we head into the first fight. I think Netra on the Doctor Strange is probably going to open things up with the portal. Fury are just going to walk it down main. So how do they want to go for it? Fury actually aren't... Oh no, they are running the Vanguard Deadpool. Somehow I completely missed out on that. But Fury also running a more dive-oriented composition with Silver on the Daredevil, IX-9 on the Venom. It's going to be depending on how much disruption they're able to get away with on the side of, onto Vulcan Red, because Impunity does have Peel with the bubble. Netra even helping things out with the bubble as well. And Chronix just goes in guns blazing, lasers down Haluk.
What a way to open up the seal of this series. There we go. Opening pick comes out. That's Haluk gone, and that's your Vampool removed. So much pressure now on IX-9 for that survivability until he comes back into the fray. Triple strats, keep in mind, really need to rely on these two Vanguards to stay alive and be that shield necessary for them. IX-9 does end up surviving. As I say that, he falls.
All right.
Ancient and Netra doing a great job capping point and extending that distance even more.
Yep, and Vulcan Red will keep that percentage going. Impunity is just there being a nuisance, jumping in and out of the backline of Fury. And just that line of sight manipulation is already enough for Vulcan Red to capitalize on. If at any given moment Impunity draws the attention of the strategist of Fury, Vulcan Red have a slight window of opportunity to get a burst right onto a member, onto Fury. And that's what Impunity really is doing. Sometimes he peels back with the bubble, sometimes he jumps into the back line as Silver is able to find Lick and might even find even more. IX-9 is trying to help him out, but with Silver gone, IX-9 needs to pick up the pieces.
Absolutely, and Song Inferno set up and ready to go. Haluk could use Banhammer, shut down one of these duelists early, maybe even the Rage of Ultron, but both these ults come out at once. Daxu, set up, has that Apex Predator set up and ready to go. That could be huge to see, but we're not going to have that moment just yet. Chronix is there, using that Rage of Ultron, finding some value to dissuade members away, but Fury caps the point, and they're slowly racking it up.
Fury are climbing further and further in. Ancient's going to reposition up into the high ground. Impunity's still making his way back into the site, so he's going to need a few moments to get right back in, but the portals will help him join the team very, very quickly, as Fury they have so many ultimates at their disposal. Netra and Solman could get their ultimates online to try to counteract what Fury are going to throw at them, but they need to get there. And if they're able to pull the trigger, things could get catastrophic. Doxu already finding Solman, Ancient going down as well. Fury have the upper hand in this fight.
There we go. May have to bring out that nuclear options. It's Jeff early on, directly onto the point. Impunity brings out Monster Hulk in response. So far, Fury littering up the KO feed in their favor. Doxu still has not needed to use Elsa's ult.
Nope, still can hold on to it. Might just wait for any different opportunities. Silver and IX9 could really disrupt the backline here with the Devil out and the Feast of the Abyss coming in online. Silver's already going to pull the trigger, draws out the invisible boundary, and now it's going to be up to Solman if he's able to, at the very least, help Vulcan Red move onto the site, because Fury, look how aggressive they are holding. They know that these ultimates are available on the side of Vulcan Red, and they just have to make sure that they're used outside of the mission area. Vulcan Red, though, they have impunity onto the site to try to disrupt it a little bit. Great exile onto Haluk as well to provide some extra disruption.
And then finding where that long-range strategist would be as well. That's going to be Citrus attempting to go far away and help Haluk get onto the site. Fate of both worlds is set up and ready, but Haluk uses Banhammer, takes down one. That's two of the strategists gone. Agamotto in return, and the Fate of both worlds in response. Impunity and two Vanguards are the only ones left. Solemn has to find impact here. Cape alive, but unfortunately a strategist has so little HP. That's Fury to continue the streak on forwards and really come out shining, at least getting the first sub-map.
Yep, and ultimate usage was just perfect from Fury. Vulcan Red just could not catch a break in terms of the barrage of ultimates that Fury were throwing at them. Devil Out used very, very aggressively to draw out some of those strategist ultimates on the side of Vulcan Red, but Vulcan Red, they are able to, at the very least, neutralize the Devil Out, but if it's not used in the mission area, it feels like more of a waste. Solman even trying to keep the team alive with the Fate of both worlds just wasn't enough for Vulcan Red to make their way onto the site. Impunity tried to go for the back cap by exiling Haluk, but it just was not enough. Fury now with a round to their name. How does Vulcan Red decide to approach this next engagement coming into round 2?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Ancient does have Ensong Inferno, which could be a good initiation tool, but I'm watching out on Konuya here to have It's Jeff set up and ready. That would be huge to get rid of anyone attempting to cap early. Right now, Fury, they like to stack up their ultimates, and if they can just bundle it together, win this first group fight with minimal ult usage, I think they'll be set up and ready to go for the entirety of this map.
It's going to be up to Haluk. If he's able to stack up the ultimate as quickly as possible. Solman's getting shot in the side, so he's going to have to reposition for a little bit. Haluk, is he able to get the ultimate down, get a good banhammer onto the backline of Vulcan Red? No, it's going to be Ancient going up sky high, trying to find the elimination. Does find Citrus, so that's already a huge man advantage.
That's right, triple strat comp too. You need to keep those strats alive. Ensong Inferno pierces through the backside. That's going to work well. Impunity and company, though. Vulcan Red, they want this early cap. They got it before, and even though they had lost it and never reclaimed it, they don't want to recreate history. That's Ancient and Co. finding more on the KO feed. Fury are completely staggered and disrupted. They have to reset.
And they do adjust that. Vulcan Red are able to win out in the first fight. Kanya was able to find the It's Jeff E onto Impunity, who did go into the Hulk ultimate, but neutralizing that just meant that it was a trade of ultimates, a trade of lives even. But Vulcan Red were able to get the upper hand there, as ultimates are getting closer for Fury compared to Vulcan Red. It's going to be up to Chronix if he's able to, at the very least, stall out the rest of Fury, or even go for the aggressive option as well, right? Pop it early, zone away Fury, so that if Chronix wants to force Fury into a retake scenario, Fury are going to have to invest ultimates outside of the mission area.
And the goal again, Vulcan Red have plenty of ultimates that can pierce the back line. Rage of Ultron, such a great starting tool. Same with the end song Inferno, but Silver doesn't care. Doesn't have to worry about the back line. Really, just anyone that's in the vision of Daredevil has to watch out. Hulk is there for the follow-up though. Hit Scan versus Ultron, not a happy story with a good ending for them. Hulk just keeps the streak on going. Swords and guns, swords and guns. That's another Vanguard down.
And Fury finally complete the retake. All they had to use was Silver. With the Devil out, Vulcan Red, they did try to force away Fury, but that Rage of Ultron only did so much. And now Vulcan Red now in the back foot here. Netra does have Eye of Agamotto. Lick even having that invisible boundary coming up soon. Fury though, they have more aggressive options. If they're able to draw out Lick's ultimate, that might be huge. Netra trying to go for the Eye of Agamotto, doesn't find anyone. And Lick going down, Solman goes down too. All of the strategists of Vulcan Red are going to go down.
It feels like Hulk has just gotten the most consistency when it comes to banhammers out of anyone I've seen so far in, well, I was going to say playoffs, but group stage and playoffs for both regions.
So now Fury can extend this lead, right? They're going to be able to pass by Vulcan Red in terms of how much percentage they have. But again, Fury, they still have the more aggressive options. Just have to use it aggressive. They just have to get the aggressive moves down. That's why they're holding so close. They don't have any safety options apart from the Fate of Both Worlds on Citrus. And now, yep, job done, right? Fury draw out the invisible boundary. Impunity is going to try to disrupt Fury by going into the World Breaker Hulk. But with Silver going down, Vulcan Red have that man advantage right now. Citrus is forced to use Fate of Both Worlds.
Fate of Both Worlds brought out again. Lick, no invisible boundary at their disposal. It's going to be again dueling ults, Venn diagram directly onto the point. A battle for that timer needs to continue going up. Ancient and Lick though holding on to the point. Rage of Ultron was seemingly momentarily out. Nope, there it is. It's gonna work now. Doxy's forced to back away. Will there be an opportunity to land on down directly onto the Ultron's Robo's skull? Almost, but instead, completely unidentified. It's going to be Silver from the back, getting all the information you could possibly want. Who did he eat up? Han only got a few different members, it seems, and there it is, a snipe once more. Double KO for both the duelists.
Oh, wow. Huge two-man E coming in from Kanya as well. And that flips the site over. Ancient, thankfully, is able to get to the Doctor Strange, but look at everyone on Fury. They know that this portal's being channeled, but yeah, too late to even step foot. And that's going to be Fury coming out on top here in map number 1.
Very dominant win coming out from Fury. Again, the team that did not find any success yesterday. So far, no maps won in all of group stage have just changed it up. They have won their first. They won the domination versus Vulcan Red. And one of the stronger teams, I think, with their showcases back in day 1 too, Dan. If Vulcan Red have shown that they can be invincible, who's to say other teams can't be, right?
I mean, Fury put up a very good fight against the Chiefs where, I mean, we argue that Chiefs might just be like the Pirates version of OCE, right? Chiefs coming through MRC. Although they didn't win the entirety of MRC, it was enough to qualify into Ignite, and that was one of their biggest goals, right? Chiefs now coming in, but Fury really did put up a fight against the Chiefs. It was a very close 2-0.
The Pirates of OCE were stopped by Pirates.
Wow, true.
Huh. Who would have thought, huh?
Oh, yeah, Pirateception. But Fury, I mean, after a close loss to the Chiefs meant that Fury really are coming in swinging. They have a lot of talent coming in. Vulcan Red also coming in with world-class talent as well in the likes of Impunity, but at least in this first map, it just was not enough. Fury get it over the line. They're able to disrupt so much of the backline of Vulcan Red, and the positioning, I'd say, from Fury was the difference there because of how much Fury were just being so aggressive with all the ultimates that they had. Whereas Vulcan Red, when they had safety options, they had to use it outside of their own spawn because of how aggressive Fury were posted up.
Yeah, it just felt like Fury overall was a lot more buttoned up coming into this first map than Vulcan Red was. Maybe it's comfortability of Krakoa, maybe it's the fact that they just felt more prepared coming into this matchup. Regardless, though, realistically, from macro to micro, it felt like Fury just had better positioning and better fundamentals overall. One player I really want to highlight is Haluk. Even though we see ban hammers all the time off of ban pools, it felt like him specifically had the most impact in leading into KOs using them that I've seen, I think, at all this year.
Yeah, Haluk was an absolute nuisance. Sometimes he was playing front to back, sometimes he's there in the dive with IX9 and the rest of Fury, right? And if you're able to provide space for your own back line, so be it. That's exactly what happens. Citrus and Kanya just weren't touched in the back line because, quite frankly, no one was there to, at the very least, disrupt it. All Vulcan Red had was impunity on the Hulk to try to weave in and out.
Yeah, you could argue maybe that Captain America ban was maybe the big foundational pillar that kept Fury afloat. But let's see if Captain America is going to be banned out or maybe even preserved if it's that important for Vulcan Red going to game number 2. Don't go anywhere. We have a small break. We'll be right back. Will this be our first 2-0 of the day? Let's find out together in OCE. My name is Kagan. I'm joined by Dan once again. Fury, what could have been the underdog team coming into this matchup, looking pretty dang good, Dan.
I mean, they come in swinging, right? I was trying to find the first win in the entirety of OCE preseason. Close loss to the Chiefs mean that Fury are looking to get some sort of win on their belt, maybe even looking for some sort of vengeance as well, right? As we head into Museum of Contemplation, that's going to be the map pick for Vulcan Red. This has been, over in Asia at the very least, right? A very, very popular choice for a lot of the teams that are looking to get a second map, but now with Vulcan Red doing the same thing that a lot of the teams in Asia have been doing, we'll see how Vulcan Red decide to facilitate their composition, because Fury really did come in swinging on that domination map.
Oh, absolutely, my friend. They most certainly did. We're heading straight into game number 2. No time to waste. We're heading to picks and drafts momentarily. Worth noting, too, that neither one of these teams went to Museum of Contemplation. I think you highlighted that a little bit, Dan. We saw Yggdrasil and we saw Arako instead. I will say, Vulcan Red against Bixum did look better, at least in terms of stats, in winning this convoy match. Fury versus Chiefs was incredibly close, but again, Chiefs are a great team. You know, it's I think that 2-point loss against the 3 of Chiefs has a lot more weight than I think the entirety of Vulcan Red's matchup.
And now we head into the ban draft. Vulcan Red Might look for a different
Really?
approach. All right, first save onto the Invisible Woman. We saw some teams do this yesterday in the OCE side, and Vulcan Red are looking to do the exact same. Fury, surely they respond with the one-sided Elsa, right?
I just don't see why. Mantis.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there
Elsa,
for the taking. Yeah,
Loki.
they go for it. No questions asked.
Oh, sure, man. I guess so. I guess it'll be good to cover the convoy itself. Maybe Mantis Band comes through. Elsa reserved from Fury. I gotta say, Dan, I'm not liking this from Vulcan Red.
Yeah, I mean, the aggressive first ban onto the... Or first save, sorry, onto the Invisible Woman is going to be... There's a chance that it gets valuable for Vulcan Red, but... Again, if you let Fury get the Elsa Bloodstone, it's going to cause a lot of problems, but... I mean, we saw it.
Wolverine.
We saw it as well, right? One-sided Elsa versus one-sided Invis, and I believe the one-sided Elsa came out on top.
I mean, you've allowed Wolverine and Elsa to skirt by into the reserves for Fury. You're a museum of contemplation. Both of these heroes excel both attack and defense on this map. I'm choosing my words very carefully.
It's a tough call, but at the very least, Vulcan Red will take away the Loki from Fury and look to get the final save onto Ultron. I'm not entirely a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie, but
I like that more than the Invis. I mean, Ultron save. I don't like either save, but like at least I understand you have a little bit more than just healing for the Ultron pick, especially if you want to go wider range, but. Dude, I don't know, man.
This is a very aggressive ban draft, I would say, from Vulcan Red as well, right? You get the Ultron, you get the Invisible Woman. You have an idea of what kind of strategist lineup you want to go for.
God.
Fury, though, they take away the portal from Vulcan
give you a hot
Red.
take,
And also the team up between the Invisible Woman and the Doctor Strange. Yeah, like you just said.
I think Fury won. I don't know what else to say.
This is a huge gamble coming in from Vulcan Red. You want to use the Invisible Woman and the Ultron if you need to use the Ultron, because it looks like Vulcan Red don't want to use it just yet, but I'm sure they're going to have to rebound to it if this first fight doesn't go according to plan for Vulcan Red.
You would think they would start off with Ultron, considering Chronix is on the Wolverine. That'll be nice long-range heals and force Wolverine not to focus on health packs as much.
That does seem to be the likely option, but Fury looking to defend first. Vulcan Red did choose to go onto the attacking side, as Doxu will get access to the one-sided Elsa Bloodstone. Vulcan Red, however, still playing around with what they want to go for. Ancient on the Rocket Raccoon is just providing the health packs to give everyone on Vulcan Red just a little bit of that extra HP, even giving Chronix that jump boost that they will use if Chronix does land a good Feral Leap. But now with the countdown going to 0, gates open up. Map number 2 between Fury and Vulcan Red. And with Fury on the defensive side and the upper hand, can Vulcan Red claw their way back?
Vulcan Red have no portals, no Mantis damage amp, and no Elsa to speak of. They have to make this attacking side count in spades. Ancient at the very least does have the Phoenix to work off of, but Silver is sending this tree on a journey straight into extinction. That's impunity gone.
Yeah, you just get straight up uprooted. And back to the spawn room he goes. Vulcan Red are going to have to stall for a little bit. Chronix gets a clapback kidnap onto IX9. So Vanguard for Vanguard. This is so much worth for Vulcan Red because you got impunity already back into the fight. Fury have to wait for this Magneto to walk all the way back to the convoy.
Some distance is being made, though. Looking pretty good. Impunity on that Groot helps create that distance. Haluk is gone. It looks like he tried to go for a backline on the Vanguard pick. Sure. Okay. Maybe a bit of a stagger there. Overall, this is looking a clean and healthy line for Vulcan Red. They're making it work.
The work is being done. Vulcan Red cover as much space as possible. Get into the face of Fury. Bring the fight to them, as Doxu does have Glartrox ready to go. When does he decide to pull the trigger is the question. As Vulcan Red are looking to push on forward. There's the Glartrox. It catches up 3. and 3 might go down, but the invisible boundary is there just in time.
That's right, saving the day right there, forcing Doxu to maybe waste ult, does force a reposition. Citrus and Silver are gone though, and Fury are losing defenders quickly. Chronix is out, invisible boundary is there, Vulcan Red have their contingency plan, but Kanuya is there, ready to go with the It's Jeff ult, having 2 of the different.
Oh, he gets a health
God,
pack.
2 strategists in their line. That was Lick and Solomon gone.
Yeah, no more sustain on the side of Vulcan Red means they have to quickly either hit the reset button or look for any sort of clutch potential, but with Impunity being too deep means that he's gonna be forced to retreat and get reset. And Fury just barely hold on with the clutch portal.
I can't stress this enough, Dan. There's no portal available for Vulcan Red. 4 ults, 1 minute, 43 minutes left. There's still plenty of time for another ult dump after this, but they gotta be very careful about how they mitigate them.
Yep, and IX9 is now available, ready to go with the Meteor M. Could look for a key one-shot potential, but it's gonna come down to how Vulcan Red decide to use their ultimates as, okay.
Oh my lord.
Don't even use the ultimates. Just win out in the neutral.
Dude, this is the most aggressive ban pool we've seen so far in this group stage, and that's saying something. He is getting KOs out of the wazoo.
Yep, neutral area, neutral fight, no ultimates used. Fury just straight up diffed everyone on Vulcan Red. So Vulcan Red still have another chance to use their ultimates, but with a minute left on the clock, they gotta do it fast because Netra holding onto the Meteor M to make sure that he has a chance to one-shot, but the huge Eye of Agamotto onto 3. But how much value does Fury get in the end here? They only settle with the 1 onto Lick, but things are looking scary for Vulcan Red. They're still holding onto their ultimates, and now Fury have options to match it.
They've skipped over a whole ult cycle. That was so necessary for them to use early on. 3 ults are used now. Chronic still holds on to his. Meteor M does find Citrus. That's a good start. Barrel leap into the last stand. That looks okay. Things are turning around, but that ult, holding on to them for 8,000 years, better have turned out well. Ancient takes down Silver, and now IX9 with a meatball at his disposal and Doxu with an Apex Predator. You save that for overtime, you could wipe everybody off the convoy.
Yeah, but can they do it in time before Vulcan Red get to the first checkpoint? No portal is available. That's still on cooldown. With the walls coming up from Impunity, that just allows Vulcan Red to get to the first checkpoint. Great wall coming in from Impunity as well to cut off any sort of way for Fury to at least extend the fight for a little bit.
And now Fury are thinking of a way to be more aggressive on the damage front. Silver swapped over to the Star-Lord pick. Again, small rooms to work off of. You could maybe funnel Vulcan Red into a box. Never mind. Go for the Wolverine instead. Everything I just said applies.
Yeah, Silver just swapped over to the Star-Lord to try to get to the fight as soon as possible towards the tail end of that first checkpoint, but Vulcan Red, now that they got the first checkpoint, spawn rooms now a little bit farther back for Fury, means that he's just going to go back to the Wolverine. Doesn't even need to use the Star-Lord, although Star-Lord is still a great pick, but with the Wolverine being present in this sort of meta, right, it's going to be way more influential.
Apex Predator's out though. Huluk immediately picks out the banhammer as soon as it's proccable. 2 players are gone and Silver is making this work. It's an actual playground for a Wolverine pick. Kanuya's waiting for the opportunity to use its Jeff. Has not approached it just yet. IX9 on the Arsenal 2, waiting for Lick to use that ultimate, possibly for an Eternal Bond off of Citrus. Still though, no threat, no pressure just yet. Both these players can hold on to their ults as much as they'd like. Silver's close to getting last stand yet again.
But how aggressive does Fury want to be posted up? They're just taking control of as much of the area as possible.
1 minute.
But with Ancient trying to find different angles, different off-angle opportunities, it's going to be a little bit more difficult with how spread out Fury are at the current moment.
And Song Inferno would be great to pierce that back line. Get rid of Jeff, at least for the moment. Huluk loves the rack up, getting Banhammer really quickly, especially against someone like Chronix. Hit scan up against the Ultron. Not a happy combo. He's forced to hide behind the environment and use that to his advantage. Rage of Ultron is out, waiting for the moment Chronix to proc it. He absorbs everything at his disposal, but he does take down 1. That's Doxu gone. Unexpected. The Jeff a survivor. Impunity's rushing towards the tippity top of this hill, looking to increase that space and allow the convoy to go around the corner. Silver still has last stand. Kunuya the same, and I'm looking at that Eternal Bond from Citrus to create even more denial. But Ancient takes down Haluk instead. Where are the Vanguards? IX9 forced on a stagger.
Yeah, Fury are staggered out. They're gonna have to regroup for a little bit. They're now getting ready to go for the retake attempt. As we do go into overtime yet again, everyone on Fury have their ultimates pretty much available and ready to go. IX9 tried to soak up the damage from Chronix's Rage of Ultron, but just wasn't able to get it down. There's the last stand. Doesn't find the mark because of that Fate of Both Worlds being online. The Eternal Bond's going to be used in response. Look at the Meteor. Is it going to land onto the mark? No, it does not. So that Eternal Bond is still available and ready to go. Kanuya, I think, ate up a few members, but is he able to finish off the KOs? But no, a lot of attrition coming in. That was a huge Gartrox.
Huge from Fury! All these ults just for Haluk to pop off! It's a Banhammer once again. Doxu's there for the follow-through. All of Vulcan Ren eliminated with 1 point to their name.
Well, if you can't figure out the ban draft, that's what happens. Fury with a one-sided Elsa Bloodstone means that one good Gartrox just ends the fight completely, and that's exactly what Fury have done. Vulcan Red will be held off of second. Fury now go on to the attack, and my goodness, Fury. Although it was a great hold onto first, Vulcan Red, though, on the other hand, were able to come up huge, especially to secure that first checkpoint.
Yeah, you gotta give it to them that they weren't willing on Vulcan Red's end to go for panic ults nearly at all. They would hold them out, wait for 5 or 6 built up, and then just unleash everything at once. But Fury's caught up to that, and they'll stack up their ultimates too. The exception, maybe Silver and Haluk use those ban hammers early to force out maybe early ults and maybe the panic ults that Vulcan Red should try to employ, but they end up not doing that.
Now, how does Vulcan Red even position themselves to
remember no portal?
Yeah, no portal available on Vulcan Red, so they're gonna have to play perfectly. I'm a little surprised they're not running the Loki Atom composition. That's available to them right now.
Maybe they just don't want to play Loki on the defense. Maybe it's too slow and not enough mobility. Lick on the white box is a good anti-dive option too.
I mean, I feel like Lick should just swap over to the Loki, right? I mean,
maybe
two copies of the Invisible Boundary are very, very nice. The Loki has one of the smaller ends of ultimate energy cost, but I guess Vulcan Red are just gonna favor more towards the anti-dive, try to keep Silver at bay on the side of Fury. And that's gonna be the approach, it seems like, for Vulcan Red. So far, they're doing a good job at keeping Fury at bay, but Fury are still creeping on forward right now.
Yeah, not a lot of stopping power. There was resistance early on when the sides were swapped to get around this first corner. Netra set up and ready. Banhammer is available. Could judge out maybe IX9. Opts not to. Plays for safety instead and for upgrades. Impunity, defensive Captain America, should be terrorizing the back line. We see that a little bit. Banhammer is out now. Ultimates start to go into the wayside towards the back line of the blue team. Will that be enough though? Maybe. Dark Force is out. Netra still holding the line. Again, defensively speaking, Fury gonna have to make something work here. Attacking wise, Fury are doing such a good job. Vulcan Red, Rage of Ultron is out though. Hit scan is available and there's nowhere to go. Chronix falls quick.
Great awareness from Doxu. He knows that the Rage of Ultron is the only avenue for Vulcan Red to try to get a hold down. Solomon is able to get the Invisible Boundary down, but with almost half of Vulcan Red being taken out means that this Invisible Boundary isn't really going to get a whole lot of value. And Vulcan Red, again, no Doctor Strange means that Fury should cruise their way to a first point. And there's the insult to injury.
And then for Vulcan Red, when they got to this point, it took them nearly to overtime. Kanuya and company again, everywhere you go, a mess of colors and still KOs. It's Ancient for a double.
Huge double though, but it's not in time.
We got a triple.
Vulcan Red just couldn't hold off Fury in time. Fury get up to the first checkpoint, and now with 4.5 minutes left, they just have to walk as far as where that yellow marker is on top of the UI. Vulcan Red still aren't utilizing the Loki. They're staying true to what they're comfortable with, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, quick disengagement tool. Kumio's there for the stuns as well. Around this corner, I expect the initiation to come off of this White Fox ultimate. Freedom charge into the back line, though. Will that force something out? May have Kunuya go for its Jeff? Maybe? But instead, terrorizing this poor little shark. Does some work, but Impunity finds real no damage, forces it back up off of Fury, but they completely peel and come back into the fight, taking Netra down. Oh no, I'm sorry, Dan. It keeps on going. That's another one to the wayside. Can you find the Ultron? The answer is yes. And all of Vulcan Red is gone.
Well, Impunity's trying to stall for a little bit with the back cap, try to keep the convoy from moving forward, but Doxu on the Elsa, no one on Vulcan Red is able to match the sheer damage output coming in from the Elsa Bloodstone. Everyone on Fury know their job, right? Make sure Doxu is able to find the eliminations as quickly as possible, whereas Vulcan Red, they're just gonna try to handle the aggression as much as possible. And then there's Glartros coming in. Lick is able to transform into the Kumio, but with Kunuya able to swallow up that White Fox ultimate, oh, things are looking dicey.
Got a big belly there, and that convoy does not have many places left to go. Netra's fighting for the life, top of the box. Silver's there for the assassination. Doxu, of course, removes Ancient, the main damage dealer of Vulcan Red. Bodies are falling left and right, and this is the last stand Vulcan Red has inside of this matchup. And unfortunately, the ride stops here. That is a 2-0 for Vulcan Red. Sorry,
2-0 yeah, there you go. I was about to say 2-0 for Fury. We're not in that we're not in that multiverse. Not in this one. Here it's gonna be Fury coming out with a huge 2-0 win. That is a first win for Fury as well. They did have a close loss to the Chiefs. We keep talking about this time and time again, but it really shows how strong Fury are. If you're able to go against the biggest org coming into Marvel Rivals in the likes of Chiefs and being able to go toe-to-toe, that is already a huge statement made for Fury, right? Being able to go up against some of OCE's best and then showing it here with a big win against Vulcan Red means that, yeah, Fury definitely are in the conversation to be maybe top 2, top 3 in OCE.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how the other teams played out today. I'm sure with each team showing up brand new, hyper-aggressive playstyles, I have no doubt for our next few sets that we're going to be seeing something very similar. But just the way we're seeing Fury play, although it's not too wild in terms of their, overall hero picks, I do enjoy watching Silver and Doxu's duality and playing off of each other. And I will say, a new special spot has developed for me for Haluk on this Van pool. I'm really excited to see how they continue to have their group stage run.
Yeah, it really just felt like it was a team composition differential coming in favor of Fury, right? Red, they had options as well, and band draft also. Yeah, the band draft also was a bit. Just put it lightly, a little curious on what Vulcan Red were trying to cook up, and Fury as well. Just they knew what they wanted to do. They knew what kind of composition they wanted to run. They wanted to put Kunuya on the Jeff to make sure they get the team up with the Venom and the Deadpool. But at least in map number 2, it was only the Deadpool team up that was complementing the Jeff. But that's still enough. It's a lot of disruption coming in for Fury, and they're able to facilitate Kunuya as like a moving health pack. Shout out to Team Heretics for saying that as well.
I think an important part too from Fury's macro was that they had a lot of disruption denial. We saw the ban, I believe early on for map 1, a Captain America ban that stopped Vulcan Red in their tracks, realizing now that it was Convoy on a map that they haven't played, either one of these teams haven't played yet, focusing on more defensive bans like the Doctor Strange, like all the different strategists, was a really smart move from Fury to keep Vulcan Red consistently on their toes and forcing them to readapt on the fly.
Yeah, and Vulcan Red just didn't have a deep enough hero pool, it also just seemed like, because Vulcan Red, they had access to a lot of these picks, right? The Loki was available for Vulcan Red, but they didn't use it at all. They decided, hey, we're going to use the White Fox instead. I feel like Invisible Woman and Loki would have been a solid backline duo, and with Chronix on the third strategist on the Ultron, probably could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. How does Vulcan Red decide to go from here? Because now you're sitting at 1-1. it's gonna be depend on how the rest of this group stage goes. Because keep in mind, I believe tomorrow will be the final day of groups.
That goes by so quick, huh?
Yeah,
and look,
every single BO3 matters at this point, yeah.
Hey, look, Vulcan Red, they're missing out on Coach Dan, dude. They need you on the analyst desk and helping them out figure out what exactly is going on. And I think the first order of business, lock in the Loki and make sure your Doctor Strange doesn't get banned.
I mean, it's going to be hard because you're going to have to commit saves onto the Doctor Strange, but we are getting word that we are getting Doxu on the phone for the interview on the side of Fury, so he'll be joining us in a few moments' time.
Yeah, I'm really curious to pick the brain of Doxu. We don't normally get a lot of duelists on the mic. We get a lot of strategist players, sometimes the vanguards, but someone who had just an MVP for the last map, popped off 28-3. I'm really curious to know what goes through his head. And another focus point I have. Oh, hold on. I guess we'll have to wait for those points because we got Doxu on the line. How are you, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Feeling good after that.
I can imagine, dude. You popped off specifically. Just before we brought you in, I was talking about your stat line, 28-3 on the Elsa. You got away with highway robbery on the duelist front this whole series, man. Did you at any point today feel threatened in these matchups?
Not really. I think Elsa's just too strong on her own, and if I'm not being mirrored on Elsa, I feel pretty free to do whatever I want. And I'm pretty safe to just take the risky fights. And usually I'll win with Elsa.
And I also want to ask, right? You guys also banned out the Doctor Strange on map 2. When did you guys consider banning Doctor Strange? Has that been a recent thing, or have you guys been like considering that for a good while now?
We've done it in scrims a lot in the past. It's just like if certain bans and protects that happen, I won't say too much, but like certain bans and protects not force us, but guide us towards a strange ban. I can't speak, sorry.
Well, now hold on. I'm gonna pull this thread a little bit more. I know you don't want to reveal too much, but are you saying that as we continue the group stage and go into playoffs, we can expect more Doctor Strange bans?
It depends. If they ban the right things, then yes, we will.
Ooh, okay. We gotta solve the puzzle, Dan.
We'll see what they decide to cook up, but again, final thing before we let you go. Is there anything you want to say out into the world? Because right now you had a close loss against the Chiefs back yesterday, and now coming in with a big 2-0 against Vulcan Red. Now it's your shot to tell the world what you guys are made of. So stage is yours, my friend.
I think the nerves got to us yesterday. It was very close. But I think Chiefs were a great team to verse first. I'm glad that the Chiefs game was first. It showed us what people are going to be capable of in this Ignite. So I'm very happy about that. But we have so much more to bring. Like, we've barely played any of our comps. We've pretty much only played one comp. And, like, we have so much more to bring. And I hope we get to show it off. But we're going to keep going.
That sounds great, Doxu. Thank you so much, man. The way you and Fury played, I'm sure this won't be the last time we interview you. I'm excited to see what the growth of you and your team looks like throughout group stage and potentially playoffs.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much,